and welcome to another episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. This is a live recording on my Twitch, twitch.tv/PatBear. I'm doing it in front of an audience. This is recorded a few days before this season fully ends. The winter 2021 season is wrapping up. So I will say, like, at time of recording, the show is not over. I'll say that probably a few times as we get into this, but just know I'm going to be talking about the winter 2021, kind of wrapping things up, and then I will be looking ahead to the spring 2021, which is starting. By the time this video goes live on YouTube, we will already have one show in the new season, so it's on its way. As always, chat is here because I'm doing this live on Twitch, and I will be probably referencing chat here and there as people come across shows that people are like, wait, that's what it's about? Or, oh, I love the show, or I hated the show, or I can't believe that Hyde picked that show up. Gross. We will probably all collectively say that as we get there. Anyway, let's get into it. Now, do I watch everything? No. As will become apparent, I don't watch everything, but I do watch a lot of things. So we'll talk about the shows. I'll give you my honest feedback. We're going in alphabetical order, so we're starting with the numbers, which is 2.43. Sen High School Boys Volleyball Team, which I did not watch. Now, I will say I'm not a sports anime guy, but I have loved sports anime in the past, but it's very subjective. It's very, this show just spoke to me, or this show didn't speak to me. I did fall in love with a great volleyball show, and I don't know if I'm ready to watch another one. So soon after finding a volleyball show that I liked, so I did not watch this one. I have heard mixed things about it. Now, please, do not get it twisted. Any chart which we're using right now is great for finding the shows and finding information about the shows. I don't trust their rankings because I don't know who uses this site. So it being at 62%, that doesn't mean anything to me, really. Because we'll see some other stuff that it's high ranked that I'm like, meh. Now, a show that I couldn't watch that I might have wanted to watch is Ikatsu Planet. Now, you're saying to yourself, Pat, I know you don't watch idol shows. Why would you watch this idol show? And the reason I would want to watch it is because, as you can see in the photo, it is a mix of live action and animation. Computer-generated CG animation that looks fine, and live action. And it is, I think the premise is there's a high school girl that wanted to be an idol, and she washed out in middle school of becoming an idol, but she is given the opportunity to take over for a famous virtual idol and be in charge of that virtual idol. So she becomes Hana in this game. Hello, Jobless. Welcome. I am talking about anime. We just got started. I'm only on the second show that we'll be talking about tonight. So the reason I would like to watch this is because it is that mix of live action and animation, which appeals to me. It speaks to me. It sounds interesting to me. It was not picked up by anyone. You can watch clips and some full episodes on Bandai, but also Bandai, their YouTube sometimes restricts certain countries, so your mileage may vary on that one. I don't know if I would love it or not, because I'm not, as I said, not super into idol shows, but that seems interesting. Of all the idol shows that came out this season, this is the one I was most interested in. Jells, I did see the sub counter go up, but I did not get a notification, so I know that, so thank you very much, and we'll hit the applause here. So thank you very much for subscribing. We're hitting there. We can throw the emotes in there. But yes, we did not get the notification. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for renewing your subscription. Oh, that did not work, Jolov. I had someone renew their subscription, but I did not get a bunch of gifted subs. So that did not work. If you gifted some subs, that did not work. So sorry. Oh no, there it goes. It did work. It just was delayed. So congratulations and welcome our new subscribers, Baer Not, Jessica, Flowers, 1999 IMG, heck yeah, and Trilution. Thank you very much and welcome. You will now be recorded as part of Pat Bear's Anime Club because this recording is going to go up on my YouTube. And thank you very much for gifting those subs. Welcome new subscribers to the Bear Cave. That's awesome. We are going to get in, and I appreciate it very much. Congratulations, and thank you very much for that. We do have a lot of anime to talk about. So in this particular stream, I will be generally focused on talking about what I'm the anime that came out this last season and what's coming out next. And then also, if people in the chat want to talk about what they watched, or if something speaks to them in like the preview, feel free to do that. But this will not be a stream where we talk about model kits. That is my other streams. So let's get back into it. Again, if I was going to watch an idol show, it would have been this, but it wasn't. Attack on Titan final season. I know that the last 2 episodes, I believe, are coming out this weekend at the time of recording. Or the last one is coming out. Look, folks, this is not my jam. If this is your jam, enjoy it. Savor the last couple episodes. Have fun with the series. From what I understand, it doesn't feel like it's finishing the story that's in the manga, so there may be more to the final season. But yeah, they gave it 16 episodes. You'd think they'd wrap it up. Maybe they're just going to rush the ending. I don't know, but I hope you really enjoy this show, which is not something, I've said it before, I'm not going to get really into it, but the show went from being a bunch of humans fighting giant monsters to a bunch of humans fighting giant monsters, and also some of the humans can turn into giant monsters to fight the giant monsters, and that's where I was like, I'm out! And that's where I was out. It became a thing I didn't want to watch. Back Arrow. This is probably the last time I could say this on a video or in stream. He's named Back Arrow because someone calls him a fool, a bakaro, and he misunderstands what they say and goes, Bakaro, sure, that's my name, because the main character has amnesia. I didn't watch it past the first episode. Also, some of the characters have a cowboy theme, and I don't know why that happens. BStars Season 2. So, I didn't love BStars, but I know people did, and so there's no disrespect there. As far as I know, I don't think this is out subtitled. I believe that's going to drop later on Netflix, but it's been out weekly in Japan, if I remember correctly, or it is weekly on Netflix, and just people that I watch or that I know on Twitter haven't been talking about it. So, please, I apologize. I did not love the first season. So, BStars, not for me. But if it's for you, hell yeah, enjoy more BStars. All right, to keep going, bottom tier character, Tomoezaki. I watched, yes, thank you. I watched 1 episode of this. I liked the premise, sort of. The premise is interesting, at least, that it's a guy who's really good at video games but doesn't like real life, is told that life is the best game of all by somebody that knows his secret. So he, with the help of this person, is like, I am now going to try to gamify my high school career. But to me, there are 2 problems with this show. One is, I did not enjoy the main character at all, and I don't know if he grows or changes. Maybe he does, but I didn't like him. There wasn't anything about him that I enjoyed in the first episode. And the second problem with the show is it goes with you have to fundamentally agree with the premise that high school is great, which to some people high school was awesome. But I don't think this guy's going to have a great high school career, even with the help of a girl. So yeah, I passed on it. And I have heard nothing positive about it. So it was one of those shows that I was like, I didn't like the first episode, but if people I know were talking about it favorably, I would check it out. That didn't happen, so I passed on it. This might be some show that I return to later, but I doubt it. Cells at Work, Code Black. I did not watch this spin-off. Now, I'm going to be clear here. Cells at Work. I loved Cells at Work. There's a sequel, Cells at Work, with 2 exclamation points. This is Cells at Work 2, which is, like, for some reason was started on Funimation and then Crunchyroll picked it up late, and I don't know why that happened. It's very strange. The spin-off, Cells at Work Code Black is a different body and all new characters. And it is the drama version. If one of them is the fun, lovable version, this is the drama version of it. And I did not want to watch a show about a body that was basically dying and the characters inside of it trying to deal with that. That did not appeal to me at all, so I didn't watch it. I am slowly watching. Cells at Work. The sequel. I'm running into a different issue with that. This one's not dark. It's just not super interesting to me. It just feels more of the same. Also, the opening theme to the first season is incredible, and this one is fine. And I would have much preferred that it was also incredible. And it isn't. And that's a bummer. So, can't really say, I can't super recommend it. If you love Cells at Work, maybe check that out. If you only liked Cells at Work, I don't think this is worth continuing. Okay. Speaking of shows I don't think is worth it, Dr. Ramun, I should say, Mysterious Disease Specialist. So a friend of mine told me that this guy doesn't suck as much as he does. Eventually, he sucks way less than he does in the beginning of the show. And the 3 episodes I watched of it, he was just somebody very unlikable, and I was not interested in his weird fixes of people. Basically, it's like he's a doctor that specializes in supernatural stuff. I just wasn't super into it. What I was into, which I savored, was Stone Wars. Dr. Stone Wars. Now, do I think that this took a little too long to get going and get ramped up? Yes. I think there were maybe too many episodes focused on them building stuff, which is a very cool part of Dr. Stone. But this is the Stone Wars season. We're building up to this confrontation. And once we got there, everything was cool. Alliances and excellent people outsmarting each other and science prevailing and some stuff I was not expecting. This season did honestly surprise me in many moments, which is awesome. That's exactly what I want to be surprised by an anime. And so, yeah, I think it ramped up a little. It ramped up slow. And I would have liked to have savored it a little bit more. But it's still an excellent season. XArm. So I can't tell you to watch XArm. I can't, in good conscience, advise you to watch XArm. But I will say this. If you are looking for a laugh, an unintentional laugh, watch the first episode. This is by far the worst anime I've ever seen. It is unbelievably terrible from a creative perspective all the way down. From having a director who has never worked in anime before and only done fight choreography in live action. A studio that has only worked on CG cutscenes in video games. Music director who is a part-time DJ, who this is his first music project of any note. Voice actors that are good, but the script that is not good. The manga, apparently people like the manga, so I'm very much bummed for people that really enjoyed the manga. Because this anime, there's just fog everywhere. There's just fog everywhere to cover up action. There are 3D models of characters, and also there's computer generated, and then there's also digital, and they share the same space and interact. It's like, you know how you watch a show and you're like, oh, the monsters in this show were done by a different production studio, and it's very obvious. They do that with characters. Like the brother is only going to be in the first episode of the main character, so why make a CG model of him? We'll just animate him. and it's jarring and complete and utter nonsense. I think it's worth watching the first episode just to see how terrible it is. And also, it's a Crunchyroll original, which is just amazing. The fact that it's at 22% on anime chart or any chart is like impressive that it hit that high. But yeah, eventually it becomes it's not funny to watch anymore because you get used to how bad it is, and then it's just bad. But I would say probably watch the first episode because I think it's worth it. Um, about how bad it is. I did not watch Gekko Idol. Idol shows are not necessarily my thing. As I've said, the sci-fi element of this is mostly just like how the theater works in it, the presentation. So, yeah, if I was going to watch an idol show, it wasn't going to be Gekko Idol. Heaven's Design Team. This got a little boring, I'll say. Ooh, my voice cracked there. I'm going to drink a little water. This got a little rough. I think it's good. I think I would have gotten tired of the manga as well. The premise, I think, is fantastic. It's an A-plus premise. God created the heavens and the earth and then started making animals and was like, this is a lot of work. I'm going to outsource it. So there's a team of angels who are a design firm where God is basically their only client. And he'll say things like, or God will say things like, I want an animal that's bad at, a furry animal that's bad at swimming. And then someone's going to create an otter. And the characters all have different representations. My favorite is the guy who came up with horses and was like, I nailed it. I made a horse. And so everything else is derivative of horses because it was his big victory. If you've ever worked in a creative field or to design work, this, I think, like really speaks to the creative process and is fun. But as I said, I think I didn't need it to be 12 full-length episodes for me to enjoy it. And eventually I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. But I wasn't like, ooh, I got to watch it. We are not done yet. At the time of this recording, not done with Joramia. If you are looking for a romance show this season, this is the romance that I would recommend. There is another romance anime out this season, besides the ones I've already talked about tonight, that I would say I didn't enjoy as much. Joramia, very much enjoyed. This is such a great show. There's a little bit of darkness to it, but that's also the high school experience, and so I'm not faulting it for that. I don't want to call it cringe, but there's a lot of like, I've been there, like relatable stuff to it. It's a very natural show. It's not a wacky romantic comedy. But yeah, also the premise of just like, she's like this at home, but like this at school, and the same thing with him. That gets dropped pretty quickly as they get comfortable with one another. They're more comfortable with expressing their true selves, and I love that they didn't keep that as a crutch. That was just how these characters got to meet each other. Yeah, I think it is really cool. It's a really strong show. I know the dub of it is highly regarded. That's a brand new show. I saw clips of it. It looks like so much fun. Yeah, there is this subtle thing they do with color changes. There's like outlines of some of the characters to represent the like doki doki like heart moments. It's really well done as these characters kind of like begin to start dating and realize their feelings for one another. It is really strong. I highly recommend it. And I've heard, as I said, I've heard good things about the dub, and not just because somebody I know is doing a voice in it, because he does so many voices, and he did voices in the show last season that I didn't like. So it's not just the reason why I say it's good. But yeah, Joramia, really strong. I did not watch Hortensia Saga. It's based on a video game I didn't know anything about, and it just seemed very, very basic. Like, oh, yeah. It just, this is in the category of, if someone I know loves it, I'll check it out. No one I knew loved it. Idol Pride, another, look, this is, again, this season was chock full of idol shows that I did not watch. Did not watch this one. Um, Again, here's another idol show I did not watch. This one's based on a video game. I have heard if I was going to watch an idol show this season, this was the one to watch, Aichu, because it involves a bunch of different kinds of idols. Um, but I did not check this out. So I cannot tell you for sure. But yeah, idol shows are just like, they are just a genre that I have never. I found one show because it was a weird comedy idol show about zombies. So you know, yeah, Saga is beautiful and weird, and I'm excited for more of it. I'm excited for revenge, but that is the only idol show I think I've ever been into. Okay, Kimono Jihan. Uh, I have heard good things about this show, and I didn't like the first two episodes. I really didn't like this dude. This dude rubbed me the wrong way, and this kid rubbed me the wrong way. And apparently, this kid gets a lot better once he like understands that he's not special, but he could be special. Apparently, he becomes a way better character. Um, but yeah, I was just like, I don't know. I think that I was not looking for another shonen, and this is apparently like a good shonen, a good supernatural dark shonen. It didn't appeal to me, so I didn't end up checking it out. This might be something that I watch another episode of in the downtime between before the new seasons really ramp up, or the new episodes, I should say. Okay, so this is a misnomer saying that all 12 episodes aired. They didn't. Okay, so Kiyo and Kyoto from the Mico House. You haven't heard about this show because the first episode debuted in February, and also it's a monthly show. So the second episode just aired at the time of this recording on a Wednesday, and it's going to be monthly. So it's going to take a whole year to see this show. I can't tell you with 100% certainty that you're going to like it if you like slice of lives and fun character interactions. But I fell in love with the first episode. Basically, if you want to be a geisha, well, you don't start at geisha. You start as a Maiko. And you don't start by being a Maiko. You start by training to become a Maiko. And so two childhood friends go to Kyoto to audition to become a Maiko. And one of them eventually becomes a Maiko to then start studying, like a junior geisha. And the other is rejected, and she doesn't even get a chance to train, the opportunity to train. Instead, she becomes the chef at the house. And it's another one of them, oh man, isn't homemade food great anime? But it also is about the testing of this friendship. And these two characters. And as I said, I've only watched the first episode. The second one came out just before I hit record tonight, so I didn't watch it. But I'm going to keep checking this out because I really liked it. And this is a show that I'm going to monthly be chatting about. So I love the idea that is a monthly series. That's so strange, but I'm super into the idea. Okay. Laid Back Camp Season 2. At the time of this recording, the last episode will air tomorrow. Oh no, it's a 13 episode. Ooh, I'm sorry. 13 episodes, so it's another week. Ooh, that's even better. I thought this was a 12 episode season. It's 13. Oh, so the good and the bad of Season 2 of Laid Back Camp. The good. It's more Laid Back Camp. There's also the introduction of Akari-chan, who is Aile's younger sister, who was in some episodes. She's camping with them now. So we get a new perspective from a new camping person. Seeing Jeff Gerstmann gush about Laid Back Camp is such a delight. It's a great show, and I love that we both love it. You're not wrong, Ying. One of the things... so, that's really fun. The teacher, who is my least favorite character on the show because she is a drunk authority figure, and I do not enjoy that as a trope. She doesn't drink all that much in the show, which is great. The downsides of it. Uh, Even if they didn't know, we as an audience knew in season one, but by the end of the show, all five girls were going to be camping together. Because we saw a moment of it at the very beginning of the very first episode. So we knew that that show was building to all of them hanging out and camping together. This season, there's a big camping thing, but it's not mentioned till like halfway through the season. I would have loved if they had been building to this camping trip again, because I don't need much plot in my girls who like camping go camping show, but I do like a little bit of plot. Uh, okay, sure. Um, but yeah, it is a lovely show. I highly recommend it. If you are looking for a really fun series, a nice chill slice of life. There's some really good moments in the second season. Go watch the first season. Go watch Room Camp, the side series, which is adorable and short episodes, so you can marathon right through it. But yeah, now that we're getting to the big camping event, I'm very excited about it. But it was that thing where I was like, ooh, what if they talked about it a little bit more throughout? Also, meeting Nadeshko's childhood friend. That was cool. I enjoyed that. Um, LBX Girls. It says mecha in it, but and I don't, look, I'm not picky about mecha shows. I try every mecha show. We had two this season. We had Back Arrow, and we had this, and neither are good. Uh, and I've never played the video game that this is based on, but it's did not enjoy it. Can't recommend it. Log Horizon, Destruction of the Round Table. So which is also the third season of Log Horizon. This is a show, weirdly enough, as a person that watches a lot of isekai. Um, uh, I watch a lot. I watch a lot of isekai, and I watch a lot of inside a video game. We're trapped in a video game style shows, which is also within isekai in most cases. But I never watched the first season of Log Horizon. I've never seen a single episode of it. I've heard very good things. Um, so I am definitely like thinking I'm gonna check it out. I just haven't yet. Um, but I am definitely. This is one of those things where like, if there's a gap between seasons and I'm looking for something, I might go and check out the first season of this because I have heard good things. I have heard this is like a good version of Sword Art Online, but then I've also heard people who are like, this is a bad version of Dot Hack, and I cannot tell you. Uh, I can tell you, look, we're getting more of this. I don't know if it's coming out next season or the following season. We'll get to that when we do the preview. Um, Jobless Reincarnation is really interesting for people that, like me, that like isekai, the genre, the different world anime stuff. I do like that genre because this light novel, the light novels that this is based on, are one of the things that popularized the boom of modern day isekai. So this came before a lot of the shows that we've seen anime, a lot of the manga that then eventually got adapted, or light novels that got adapted. This set a lot of the standards of the reincarnation genre as we know it today. And it took a while to get made because it's like beautiful magics and it's all kinds of crazy looking backgrounds. And also a truly, truly horrendously unlikable main character. Rudius, sucks and I hate him. And I know that it's toned down. This is toned down from the light novels. But I still hate him. So and also one of the main characters in the show is also is a very annoying tsundere character, which obviously did not create this. Oh yes, Yin Dark, our lovely friend, the Beast Warrior woman, who was trained by the Sword God. She's great. Also, Roxy is great. I like Roxy a lot. There are characters in the show that I don't dislike. Sylphie, I'm fine with it, whatever. It's mostly that the main character is awful. And he's just, as the show progresses, because it's 11 episodes that aired, and then there's going to be more episodes coming out in the second half of the season. Um, uh, as he's like been put in danger and has to step up as a person, he is less of a garbage person, but he's still garbage. So, caveat. Nonnonbiore is wrapping up at the time of this recording. Honestly, you don't have to watch the first two seasons. You could start with this season of Nonnonbiore, but you could also watch the first season because it's Nonnonbiore, repeat, and then this is nonstop. You could start with season 1 of Nonnonbiore and really go through it. I described this show as what if Azumanga Daioh wasn't as like over the top cartoonishly weird. Like, there's no talking cat in this show. Like, I love Azumanga Daioh, but that is my touchstone for this because it is a bunch of school kids in a very rural town where they're all different grades, but they all are in the same classroom, and them in class, outside of class, having fun, finding their own adventures. There's some poignant moments. This season had a couple little ones. This season introduced a new character who I didn't like at the beginning, but liked by the end. It's almost over as a show. And it's just a slow-paced, lovely little series that I highly recommend if you're looking for a very chill slice of life. If you like comedy that involves long pauses and then finally a reaction, there's some incredibly great long pauses in the show. There's like a lot of like that kind of thing, like, but even longer of a wait. Really top notch, lovely little show. You've seen clips of Renge. You've probably seen the clip where Renge, Renchan, as they're called, does the she does the aura Susanoo, she calls it, to her sister. That clip is all over the internet. You've probably seen it. It's very, very good. We have not, because Megalobox is coming. That I am going to do my upcoming. I'm right now talking about the shows that came out in the winter season. I will be covering the preview of the spring season once I get through that. So we're on our way here because we're in the O's. We're going in alphabetical order through the winter anime, the January, February, March shows. But yeah, we are going to cover a preview of the next season. Outside Picnic. So, I didn't watch this. This looked like there are two shows that seem to either be queer adventures or queer baiting adventures. And it was very up in the air about which is which. This seems like this one is a queer adventure. But also, it was like a mystery thing, and also there's like creepypastas involved, and I was just like, I'm good. I think the premise is kind of fun, but I was like, no. And I know a few people that liked it. I might come back to it, but I don't know. So yeah, I don't have a lot to say about Outsider Picnic, I should say. Other Side Picnic, I should say. Other Side Picnic. I've said it right finally. ReZero, Season 2, Part 2. It just ended today at the time of this recording. Look, I'm as surprised as you that even liking Isekai, that I finally got into ReZero. Because Subaru takes a very long time to not be a worthless person. And not enjoyable main character. It takes a while for him to be great. This season, I actually finally got Amelia, and I like Amelia more than I ever did. This season, I came to appreciate Beatrice even more. I already loved Otto. We got new characters that I got into. There is a character who is just missing from action for this second half that I wish was around more because she was my favorite character in the beginning of the show. So I am bummed that we don't get to see much of her. Uh, it is a hard thing to say, hey, go back, start with ReZero because maybe you'll like it the second time if you didn't like it the first time. But its world building is paying off. There was this kind of incredible revelation that I won't spoil in this second half about a character we saw previously that made me feel bad for cheering for that character's defeat in the past. It was pretty rad. Um, okay, so this is the show that I kind of teased before that I was like, why did Hyde pick this up? Hyde picked this up, so if you have a Verve account or a Hyde account, you can watch it. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this. It's torture porn. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. I have a lot of trouble going into the, hey, you like what you like and I'll like what I like and whatever. It's all anime. But yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, it's gross. It's fucking disgusting. So, um, yes, yeah, Nathan, yeah. My general thought on that is that it made sense for there. Anytime you click on like a major tweet, from a streaming service, I was just looking for people that were like demanding that they release the Blu-ray versions as a stream as the stream version, and it was just like I'm just gonna mute or block those people because I don't need them coming to my mentions. But we're gonna move on. Scar on the Preterror. I would say you should watch the trailer for this because it's funny. It's unintentionally funny. This, honestly, I feel like would have been the worst looking anime this season if not for XArm. This is the second worst looking anime this season. I watched the first episode. I mean, they have divine tattoos that grant them unique powers. They have divine tattoos that grant them unique powers is a line. Whew. Yeah. I didn't see the show by Rock the first season, so I didn't watch this. It's another idol show. As I said, there were a lot of idol shows this season. I wish I liked Skate the Infinity. I wish I liked the show because I have plenty of friends that are like, this is my jam. This thing rules. This is exactly the anime I want to watch at the beginning of 2021. And I was watching it, and it didn't do anything for me. I got like 3 episodes in. I don't like that they call their dangerous version of skateboarding S. I don't like that they call the fights that S boarders have beefs. I do love that many of them have wrestling-like personas, larger-than-life personas, and one of the guys who cheats all the time is actually a lovely florist in real life. I do like the idea that a guy who is like epically good at snowboarding is figuring out how to be great at skateboarding because I think that's a fun idea. But overall, it just left me feeling like I wish it was better. It was done better. Maybe someday I'll come back to it. As I said, I know people that really loved it, and so I feel bad that I just bounced right off. But if what I was describing to you sounds good, check it out. It's on Funimation. See what's up. Skate Leading Stars, I did not see. It's a ice skating competitive series. Okay, Soma Spider So What is continuing. This is going to be a double season. It's going to be 24 episodes. So we're getting more of Soma Spider, so what? Okay. A big change. A whole class of people, a whole school, a classroom of people, not class, a classroom of people get isekai'd and they get reborn in a fantasy land. And almost all of them are humans, with a few exceptions. One of them is a dragon, and one of them is a spider. Girl is a spider. And so we jump between this dude, Shun, who is basically would be the main character of his own anime and his own isekai anime stuff that's happening. And we jump between him and our girl who's a spider, just trying to survive in a tough dungeon as a spider. And it fucking goes places, y'all. You get used to her as a CG spider most of the time because they jump between her as CG and as digital. Some of the monsters, there's some dragons that don't look good, that are always CG and don't look great. But I didn't love the Shun storyline so much as I was interested in this spider becoming incredibly powerful and surviving. But yeah, it fucking goes places, and yeah. I mean, I'm invested. I'm excited to see where it goes. It's now getting to the point where things are happening that are like, yikes. And I'm starting to feel like maybe I'm not supposed to like a character that I really like, but I still do, so sorry. I did not finish this second half of Orphan, or the second season of Orphan. Yes, the second season of Orphan, because I did not finish the first season of Orphan. In my opinion, this did not need a remake. The original version of Orphan doesn't necessarily end particularly great, but the original version of Orphan is very much of the time. And they did not update the source material when they were like, let's make another season of Sorcerer Stabber Orphan. They didn't update jokes, and part of it is the fact that it's a comedy. And they didn't update any of the jokes, and so it just didn't work. Speaking of another show that I don't think worked, suppose a kid from the last Dungeon Boonies moved to a starter town. I have now begun reading the manga of this, and I love the manga so much better. The premise is great. The manga is already off to a great start, and I'm enjoying it. The animation, the adaptation they did in the anime, I think is a bummer. So, basically, let's say that right before the last dungeon in an RPG, you go to the last town before the last dungeon. If you fight people in the last town right before the last dungeon, those characters are very strong. Now, what happens if you're born in that town and you think you're weak because you're the weakest person in that town, and then you go to the starting town, basically the beginning of where people would be low level. Even though you don't have any confidence, you are already incredibly strong. And also what happens if you run into a bunch of different fun ladies who are all just charmed by how nice you are. And you go on adventures. Now, what if that anime decided it had to get through a whole lot of plot really fast? So by the 4th episode, you have defeated a demon lord. Which is not the 4th chapter or even the 6th chapter of the manga. It's just condensed and they rush through things. It's so rushed that a major villain in the show is introduced. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. A major villain is introduced like, I want to say episode 10. And it is a bummer. And so suppose a kid from the last Dungeon Boonies moved to a starter town is really fun. But it is I would have to say check out the manga because it's so rushed and I'm so disappointed because it's a great premise that I think was just handled very poorly. It was one of the shows I was most looking forward to this season. So that is a shame. Um, that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Season 2. We've got one more episode at the time of this recording coming out. We just the second to last just aired. Okay, so if the stuff you liked about that time I got reincarnated as a slime season 1 is this is kind of like an older person reincarnated as a slime, and it's kind of fun that he's like running into these other people, and it's kind of goofy and it's kind of light. That ends in season 2. If you were like, I like this slime, but I wish that he killed more and that all his people killed more, well, then this season is for you. So basically, a postmodern isekai, and isekai that was like, hey, what if it's a slime? Let's play around with that. Basically, just evolved into a very good but very modern regular isekai. So this season, it became a regular show. And I'm not super against that, but it is true. Yeah, so it's a very good isekai. It's just not a silly, fun isekai anymore. Now, if you loved season 1 of that time I got reincarnated as a slime, good news for it being silly and fun. Slime Diaries is coming out, and that is it was a side manga, and it's a little bit more chibi versions of the characters, and it's just a slice of life in the town of Tempest. So it is just the characters being silly and fun, and it is what might appeal to you. And I feel like it might have been created while this show was happening, or the manga was happening, because some people were probably like, oh, I'm bummed. So that is coming out. So Slime Diaries might be right up your alley. And then after Slime Diaries is the second half of season 2 of that time I got reincarnated as slime, which will be even more grimdark. It's good. It's just not. As I said, episode 11 does feature a moment where a character is murdered so easily and quickly and unexpectedly that I did laugh, get fucked idiot, and said that out loud. So, if that appeals to you, someone was just killed so ridiculously. It was great. The hidden dungeon only I can enter. The thing I'll say about this is, it lives up to its ecchi tag. It's mostly fine. Like, it's not great. If you like dirty jokes and stuff, I think it's fine. It's one of those things like I can't super recommend it. I grew to like it because I haven't watched the whole thing, but I did watch a bunch of episodes of it. When it becomes more of a harem thing, it seems to be fine, but it's definitely not for me. So I can't highly recommend it, but yeah, it's not terrible. I would put it in the same category as like the Monster Girl Doctor show from last season or seasons before, where I'm like, I get why this was made and it's fine until it isn't. So yeah, if that grim, dark, horror, nasty revenge porn anime didn't exist, this would be the thing that people would have been annoyed with this season. But it skates by not being that show. The Promised Neverland Season 2. Look, I'm not watching this for a different reason than many other people. I am not watching this because I didn't watch the first season. I know it's reportedly first season is incredible. But the idea of a horror anime that is the main characters are kids, my fight or flight kicks in and I flee. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch that lingering. Even if I read spoilers to know what things happen, I just don't want to watch horror that involves kids. I just don't want to. Maybe it's because I'm 40 and thinking about, someday being an uncle, but I just don't want it. Now, other people don't like season 2 because apparently season 2 is bad. Now, this is on the word of other people that I know and trust. Apparently, they did. Cloverworks is doing a weird adaptation of the manga, and they skipped a bunch of stuff, including huge like characters. Like they're just characters just not in it. And maybe it should have been a double length to let it have give it time. I don't know. I can't tell you. I just know that a bunch of people I know are real bummed out because they really liked the first season and aren't liking this. But I won't see it because kids in peril, just not my jam. Quintessential Quintuplets 2. So I really liked the first season of this show. Because the first season of the show wasn't really a romantic comedy. It was just mostly a comedy about a dude, a gruff dude, that's working really hard to have money to take care of his family. And he becomes the tutor of 5 quintuplets, girls who... now, in this photo, you can see them with different haircuts. But you have to know that for the show to work, the premise in the show is that those 5 different haircuts are for us, the audience. That's not real. Their hair is the same color and generally the same length. One wears, like they have different elements to their accessories are there, but the hair is different colors for us, the audience, to tell the characters apart. But they're wildly different personalities, and they're also all bad at school. And so he's tutoring them, and you get to know each of the girls and their relationship with him grow, and it's great. And then this season, the romance kicked in, and it became sisters competing with one another for a dude that does not seem to be worth it at all. And they have not done any real effort, enough effort, I at least say. Maybe they've done effort, but not enough effort, in my opinion, to justify why 5 girls are all into the same dude and risk ruining their relationship as sisters for this guy. So yeah, I kind of like, meh. But yeah, the first season I think is just fine. I think it is very fun. And there's like one of the girls starts to like him in the first season. And another one probably also does. But by this season, all of them do. And it's like, yikes. The 7 Deadly Sins, Dragon's Judgment. At some point, this show got away from me. Because this is the 4th season. And I know I watched the first season and I watched the movie. And I feel like I watched those like last year. But I guess I watched them a while ago. So this show just keeps happening, and I'm pretty sure it's not a comedy anymore. I'm pretty sure it got rid of the funny parts. But yeah, anime The Bachelor. It is a bit, yeah. Quintessential Quintuplets 2 is a bit of The Bachelor. Yeah, that is fairly apt. Where you're just like, this guy. At least in We Never Learn, which was another comedy about a guy tutoring some girls, and then there's a love triangle happens. I get that dude's great. The dude in We Never Learn is like, I really liked him. I thought he was fun. He had a character. There was a character to him. So yeah, 7 Deadly Sins. Maybe someday I'll go back to it, but I don't know. I feel like there's always new 7 Deadly Sins. Tropical Rouge, Pretty Cure. I know nothing about the Pretty Cure shows. I do know that it is, shoujo. And I love, new shoujos out there are also long-running shoujos. I also know that Precure, or Pretty Cure, there's a lot of it, and a lot of it showed up on Crunchyroll like this year, and that's great. I did not watch this. Also, it's only a few episodes in. True Cooking Master Boy Season 2. I did not watch the first season, which is just it's a retelling / continuation of the first show, which aired years and years ago. I bounced off because of the art style. I do like cooking anime, but it didn't do anything for me. Uramasume Pretty Derby Season 2. I did not watch the first season of Pretty Derby. Now, shout outs to Beej Dairy, who I don't expect to have watched this far. But I know Beej really likes this show. Yeah, a sports show about horse girls just didn't appeal to me. And I've heard good things about this season, but it just doesn't appeal to me. If it appeals to you, hell yeah. Wave, Let's Go Surfing, which is the TV version of the OVA that came out last year. I watched one episode of this and was just like, this is a sports anime that does not appeal to me. Wix's Diva Alive, I believe, is the last Idol show to mention today. As you known as a broken record, did not watch it. Wonder Egg Priority. This is the other show that I couldn't tell if this was a queer show or a queer baiting show. But the sense of dread I got from 1.5 episodes of this show made me realize I did not want to watch it. I've heard people are real into Wonder Egg Priority. But the psychological element of that made me go, I don't think this is for me. As I said, it didn't vibe with me. Part of it's probably because it's 2021, and I'm leaning more towards wholesome than I am, like, even my shonen is wholesome this year, than I am, like, yeah. World Trigger Season 2. I'm so glad there's more World Trigger. If you haven't seen Season 1, it took place like 5 years ago. It aired 5 years ago and took like 2 years to do a bunch of like 70 episodes because it was in the Black Clover, Boruto, One Piece school of, hey, it's a shonen. Let's do it every week as an ongoing. So World Trigger did that. The problem is they didn't put a lot of money into it. Didn't look good. It was really slow paced because the mangaka got sick. And so they didn't want to catch up to the manga, so they just slowed down. It had a lot of filler episodes. And then it ended and went away. And then the manga came back, and now it's back as a seasonal show. There's going to be 13 episodes. And the first episode does a pretty good job of catching people up about what the show is about. Now, World Trigger is about these things called neighbors. They are monsters that come from another dimension. Sometimes they look human. Sometimes they look like big old aliens. And there's members of Border are the group that fights them off. So a portion of the show is, hey, here's members of Border fighting off this invasions that come in. But most of the show is, to get to be in a place in Border where you can do that, you have to constantly prove yourself in 3-on-3 battles within the school. So it's one incredibly long, continuous fighting tournament arc. It's a shonen with an incredibly long, detailed, consistent fighting tournament arc. And if you're not into that, I don't think World Trigger is for you because it's so much of the show. And I didn't finish this season, or up to this point. I dropped off, I think, 4 or 5 episodes in because it's just not something that I'm just like, I care about the 3 main characters. Chika rules. Kuga rules. The main dude, Glasses, he's fine. He's all right. But it's just so much characters fighting other characters for sport in a way that just doesn't appeal to me. But I'm happy it's back in a seasonal format. That rules, and there's gonna be more of it. Shorts, I didn't watch. I only watched, I think, like one short, so we'll go through this pretty quick. Because I didn't watch any of these. Some of them are shorts that are accompanying to main series, and some of them are just okay. You can find, apparently, all of Molcar is coming to Netflix soon, so you're going to be able to watch all of Pui Pui Molcar on Netflix. Pui Pui Molcar, there's no dialogue, so you can find most of it on YouTube. It is what it looks like. It is a stop motion animation of cars that are also hamsters. and I've watched a good portion of it that's available on YouTube. Some of it's not available because it's region locked. But yeah, it's Pui Pui Molcar. Again, as I said, I haven't seen. I can't remember what happened in the second season of Yaragome-chan, so I didn't watch the third season. And some of these didn't come out here in the States. Leftovers. Anime Capybara-san is ending soon. At the time of this recording, it is ending soon. Was Tonikawa not last season? Tonikawa was... wait, when did that come out? I think that came out in 2020, so that was 2 seasons ago? Let me look it up. Fly Me to the Moon. Yes, Tonikawa is 2 seasons ago. That was a 2020 anime. So it was not January, February, March of this year. It was last year. And it was a show that I didn't watch as it was airing, but I watched later and really liked. That show grew on me. Once I realized it wasn't sci-fi, it was just that the main character's name is NASA, and it wasn't a sci-fi show and was just a romantic comedy. When it first started airing, I was not in the mood for a romantic comedy about 2 young people who have never been in a relationship and decide to get married. But that show grew on me pretty quickly. So Anime Capybara-san, it's 1-minute shows. This is definitely made for kids. It is about an animal rescue or refuge, and the main capybara named Capybara-san, and all of the many little copies and other animals that all live in this place, and it is just cute and simple and lovely. And as I said, there's gonna be 24. I don't know why it's ranked so poor. I mean, it's for children, but it's great. I did not watch When They Cry, but I respect When They Cry. I respect what this show did, which was it pitched itself at the end of the beginning of last season when it started airing, because it was a double length. It pitched itself as this show is a remake of the anime based on the visual novels. And in fact, it is not. It is not a remake of it. It is a continuation alternate reality where at least one of the characters, I don't know enough about it, but at least one of the characters lived the previous season. And that is rad. Not for me, not my thing. I watched some of the first When They Cry when it first came out years ago. Never again. If you've ever watched an Anime Bullies Get What They Deserve compilation on YouTube, many clips from the first version of this show exist in those, which is how I first came across it years ago. But yeah, no thanks. Jujutsu Kaisen, double-length shonen show, wonderful, just wonderful. I've talked before about the good boy shonen aesthetic that has come out in the last 5 years, which My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer, and even Fire Force. This idea that the shonen boy, main character, what if they were not? What if they weren't just doing what's right and fighting for what's right? What if they were a good person? And also, I would count Asta in there from Black Clover. What if they were legitimately a good person and they were trying? And I think that Yuji is trying harder than any of them. Yuji literally knows he has a death sentence. He knows his time on this earth is numbered. And so he's trying to make the best of it. But he's also thinking through his own thoughts, and he's growing as it happens. We are now on the 3rd arc, which is, I guess, either the 3rd arc is short or it'll be continued later, and they didn't want to drag out. It had I would say, decent fighting tournament arc. Great characters. There's a panda named Panda. There's a panda named Panda, and he's always a panda, except when he isn't a panda. And it's very fun. I love that Gojo is just like Kakashi, but like turned up to 1,000. Real into that. Real into that. It's like, well, What if instead of covering one eye, he covers both eyes? He just wears a blindfold to protect other people from how powerful he is. Also, there's a old man that I don't like, but he's got a cool ability, and so I will give him props for that. I don't like that old man, but I like his abilities. I love the good boy main characters. Yeah, because, like, you know, like, I didn't grow up. I was 19 when it came out, so it's not like I grew up with it, but, like, my early shonen stuff is Goku. Goku's fun, but Goku thinks about battle for Goku thinks about battling more than he thinks about saving the world. If he saves the world while he's fighting, that's fine. Um, or like, you know, Yosuke is just an idiot, a jerk. Um, uh, Gon is one of the most selfish, self-centered, focused only on his own goals, doesn't think a second about anyone outside his circle characters I've ever seen in from Hunter x Hunter. I've ever seen. Gon is such a selfish main character that the mangaka was like, and now you're not the main character, which does not happen in you don't have that. Even like Fairy Tail, that dude is selfish and nonsense. It does the right thing, but like Natsu is not a good boy. Um, so it's interesting to have like just a real nice guy making it happen. Real empathetic. There's a bunch of empathetic characters lately in Shonen. And that's rad. And then I did not watch King's Raid. Yes. I agree with you, Nathan. So Luffy goes through different there's like 3 different Luffy, and sometimes Luffy is like, these are my people, let's do it. And sometimes Luffy is like, I'm going to stand up for what's right. And then sometimes Luffy is just like, we're going to do this for no reason, and it's going to make everything worse. Okay. King's Raid. I didn't watch the first half of this show. I can't believe this got 26 episodes. It is just so generic. It is so generic, and it is... Here's the thing that I love. You can see there it says Source Video Game. It's not based on the story from the video game. It is based on a couple characters from that and an original story, just using some of the characters. So it's not even using source material. I can't believe it got 26 episodes. How does that happen? It looked so generic. And then I'm not watching this. I know this is a funny series that people like, but I just, yeah. The best thing about Osomatsu is that Studio Pierrot that makes it also does Black Clover. And there's one episode of Black Clover where these nonsense characters show up in the background. Because it's the same production company, and that is rad. That is by far the best thing about those characters. Oh, well, we got to get into next season. We're almost done here. With a dog and a cat, every day is fun. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. I didn't the last episode is coming up. I am sad about that. This is one of my favorite slices of life in a long time. It's a simple, short series about a woman that owns a cat and a dog. And it's comparing the cat and the dog to each other and their behaviors. There are a couple episodes that are very poignant and sad and lovely. And just out of nowhere, you're like, oh. There's stuff about former pets and other people's pets. And just, it is such a great little series. I love it so much. With a dog and a cat, every day is fun. Is just a fantastic show. And now that it's over, I don't know if it's going to end up in my 2021, now that all 24 episodes are about to be out, but it's already on my top 10 for the year. I don't know if it'll continue to be in the top 10, but it's already there. And then Yashahime. I wish I loved Yashahime. I didn't love Yashahime. I wish I loved it. I did not. I love the idea of taking the daughters. It is, I think it is where Boruto is, hey, here's the new characters, but also remember how great the old characters were? This show is just like, here are the new characters. Hey, yeah. And then also here are the new characters. And I love that. Love that. Also, if there was, let's see, yes, if Setsuna, if there were anime conventions last year, we would have seen a lot of people dressed as Setsuna. Because that is a not super hard costume to pull off, but there would have been a lot of people dressed in that costume, and it would have been rad to see. We didn't get that. Movies, I didn't see any movies. I want to see these. I want to see both of these Sailor Moon movies. They have not been available here, so maybe someday I'll be able to see it. And I didn't watch the Gintama movie. But yeah, I didn't see any of these stuff, and OVAs, ONAs, I don't think any of this. Alice in Deadly School, I was going to watch the first episode of, but then just didn't, and I feel better for it. And then bonus episodes of Kuma 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 Bear, I have not seen because they're Blu-ray only in Japan. I'm going to try to track them down. In fact, yeah, I'm going to try to track down Bear 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 Kuma, Kumaden Hen. Because I really liked Kuma 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 Bear, and Bear Bear Kuma was the side jokey show, so I want to see more of that. But yeah, I didn't see these movies. I don't know what's going on here. High Rise Invasion came out all on Netflix, so it's counted as an ONA. I don't really generally like the Game of Death animes, so I didn't watch that. All right, it's time now. Let's scroll all the way back up. Let's drink some water. And it's time to get into Spring 2021 anime. And we're going to go through these pretty fast because I've been talking since 9 p.m. Eastern. Thank you to everybody that's been hanging out. I appreciate that. If there's any shows that you come across here that you're psyched about, let me know. It was mentioned earlier that people are excited about, hyped about 86. 86. Again, we're going to look at this in alphabetical order here. Apparently, people really like this light novel. Yeah, look, this sounds dark as fuck. The unmanned planes are full of people. People have to pilot it. The government claims that, there's the 86 sector. That's fucked up. It's real fucked up. 86. Yeah. But yeah, I've heard good things about this. I don't know if it's something I'm going to be checking out, but yeah, A1's doing it. They do good work. So A1's doing 8-6. Heck yeah. Bakugan, I have never seen this show, so I will not be continuing to watch it. Bakuten, I might check this out. As you know, I don't particularly generally enjoy the sports anime, so I don't know if I'm going to be into the rhythm gymnastics team. The story will have to be compelling, and I don't know if this sounds compelling or not. Battle Athletes Victory Restart. So, I haven't been able to find out if this is a reboot or a continuation of Battle Athletes Victory, which I've never seen, but is pretty old, if I remember correctly. But it is a action future sports. I'm told there's a kangaroo companion, and that is intriguing to me. A humble potato farmer. But I don't know. I don't know enough about this. I don't know enough about the source material. As I said, I don't know if this is a sequel or it's a sequel that you could just pick up and start, or if it's a remake. It says sequel, but any chart can be wrong and has been wrong in the past. Blue Reflection Ray. This sounds fucking creepy as hell. It's based on a video game, which tells me this is based on, I assume, a visual novel. But there's a girl who is transformed into the magical reflector form and protects the world from devastating forces for the sake of the world and her own dream. She thought she could get up on it. So, like, two creepy sisters are like, maybe they're not creepy, but magical sisters are like, here, now you can become a reflector. I don't know, maybe I'll watch one episode of it. Card Fighter Vanguard Overdress. I just like the name Overdress. I will not be checking this out. Probably. Feeling ill, or she has trouble with the fact that he cannot say no when asked. No longer stand going along with his sister's hobby, so he ran away from home. The one who saved him. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. Card Fighter Vanguard. I I don't think I'm gonna check this out. Um, the Roman Fighter. Uh, I don't know. I'm gonna check. I haven't checked out the trailer for this. I have not watched the trailer. I'm not gonna watch it here because I don't want to get demonetized on YouTube later. I have not checked out the trailer for this. Maybe I'd be into it. I think it honestly depends on how good the trailer is if I'm going to give this one episode or not. Also, it's starting in 20 days, so it's coming in late in the season, so it'll be a while. That's 20 days from the time of this recording. Um, Combatants will be dispatched. I'm definitely not going to watch this. I watched the trailer for this, and I kind of like the idea of two people who are like, they're like grunts at a, and they end up trying to take over a fantasy world with modern technology, like a fantasy planet. Um, but also like it, the etchy thing, and I was just like, and then the trailer, and I was like, no. Look, if it turns out to be great, I will watch it, but it does not sound good. Don't toy with me, Miss Nagatoro. Um, how do I say this? Okay, the idea of a show where it's a romantic comedy, right? And one of the characters teases and torments the other character, but if other people try to do it, she gets really possessive because even though she torments him, she likes him. That premise, and he doesn't understand that she likes him. She's just like, why am I being tortured? That premise does not appeal to me in the slightest. If it appeals to you, enjoy this show. Have fun with it. I hope you really like it. But this does not appeal to me. Uh, there was another slice of life about a girl that teases the boy that sits next to her in school. I never watched that. Yeah, I'm just not into it. Like, there's a bunch of like tough girls or whatever, weird girls that hang out with her, but she's decided to pick on, and also he's her upperclassman, so she shouldn't do this. Uh, yeah, that just doesn't appeal to me. Uh, Dragon Goes House Hunting. Now, this show appeals to me. This show sounds awesome. I can't wait to watch this show. The premise is a dragon, just like for being kind of a crybaby, gets kicked out of his home. The world fears dragons, even though they don't necessarily need to fear this one. And he just wants to find a house and a place he can belong. And he meets a lot of cool, fun characters along the way. And I believe his real estate agent is like secretly a demon lord or something. But we know that as an audience. And it just sounds great. And I just want Letty to find a good place. And I hope good things happen to Letty. I want Letty to find a good home. This sounds great. Duel Masters, have not watched any Duel Masters. And Eden Zero, I think is going to be on, I know it's going to be in Netflix Japan. I don't know if it's going to be in Netflix US, so it might not actually come out this season here. If you're looking at this art and you go, why is there that cat that I know? Why is there a girl that looks identical to another girl? This is not Fairy Tail, but it's the same mangaka as Fairy Tail. He just made a sci-fi series with a character that he doesn't look like Natsu. He looks like the bad guy in the show. And then this looks the same. And then also Happy is just there again. It's just another thing, but this is a sci-fi show. So Mashima who went from Rave Master to Fairy Tail, where some of the characters, like Plu, is the same in both. This time he was just like, I want to do a new. I just did years and years of a manga about Fairy Tail, but you know what? Uh, yeah. I'm gonna put. Actually, you know what? He looks like Gray. He looks like a young Gray more than he looks like uh, Natsu's rival. Yeah, like that. They looks that is maybe clear. Um, I'm just gonna put Happy in it again. We're doing Happy again. Uh, I don't know if I'm gonna watch this. I kind of like the premise. I haven't read it. Uh, it just seems weird, and that's kind of fun. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Um, Fairy Ranmaru is some sort of weird thing where these are some sort of mystical characters, mystical like legendary figures, but they work at a bar to make people feel better. And their idea that they're tasked with collect the hearts and the love and affection of people and heal them, but all of them don't want to do that, and not by your rules. And I don't think I'm gonna watch it. It's coming to Crunchyroll, but that yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Um, oh, April 4th. So coming up real soon. So I did not watch First Touch, the first season of Farewell, My Dear Kramer, which is a weird name. This is a girls soccer anime or football. Uh, yeah, and it's got a lot of characters, as you can see by this photo. It's got a ton of characters, but I've never heard of the first season, so I didn't know this was coming out, and I don't think I'm gonna watch it. Fruits Basket. I am so thrilled for fans of the first show and the manga that they're getting that this show when it first came out has been so true to the manga and such a good representation of it. I'm so happy for people to get that. I fell off of it, and I don't think I'm going to watch the last season, but I'm so psyched that it exists. Full Dive. This ultimate next-gen full dive RPG is even shittier than real life. This is obviously based on a light novel, and it tells you the plot of it. What if Demon Souls was a VR MMO? Like, what if the hardest video game you can think of? Like, it's immersive. It's the most immersive game because it's not fun to play and people don't want to play it. And for whatever reason, this guy gets tricked into doing it, and he's decided he's going to beat it. And I like the premise. I hope I like the character. I do know that at least one of these girls is like yandere, tsundere, or yandere. I haven't been able to quite pick it up because watching the trailer, and I was like, well, I hope she's not around too much. At least one of the characters, because one of them is just nonsense, and then also his childhood. Yeah, that's right. One of them is tsundere, and one of them is yandere. His childhood friend is yandere. And that'll just, if it's handled poorly, that'll just push me right off. But the premise is strong. After being rejected, I shaved and took in High School Runaway. So I'm not going to watch this. A 26-year-old salaryman who was rejected by the girl he had a crush on for 5 years takes in a high school runaway. And then apparently it's a romantic drama slice of life. And fuck off. Fuck off with that. You just go fuck yourself. I'm not watching that. Shame on everyone. Shame on the light novel, shame on the anime production, shame on Crunchyroll, shame on everybody. You know what we don't need? The slice of life romance story between a runaway high school student and a 26-year-old salaryman ensues. We don't need that. We just don't need that. We don't need that show. I don't care if it's excellent. Doesn't have to exist. How not to summon a demon lord. Omega. This is the second season of How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, a show that I like but have trouble recommending because a few scenes in the first season are not great. Um, but I do like this guy who was really into MMOs wakes up inside the body of his character in a fantasy world, and he's just like, yeah, I'm really strong, but also don't know how to talk to people, especially girls. It looks like a couple of the characters from the first season are not in this photo, which is great. Uh, and there's some new characters, and I'm gonna watch it. I start with every isekai, so I like the first season. I'll watch this. Um, this one I think is gonna be good, folks. I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. This is a manga that I've been reading. Um, and it is a lovely idea of a slice of life. This girl dies. She's a workaholic. She dies. She gets granted a wish, and she wants to be immortal. So she becomes an immortal witch. And she just like lives her life for 300 years, and we don't see it. And then we see it when her life changes. She gets introduced to characters. Now, are all these characters ladies? Yes. These are two young ladies that come to live with her. There is a dragon who takes the form of a woman. There is what else happens there? There is an elf, which I'm not thrilled about the elf. She's my least favorite character. The best character comes in. Y'all, this series has a teen delinquent ghost girl. She killed herself because she was getting a raw deal in her life, and she was haunting a place, and then she becomes a cool girl that hangs out with all of them. Teen Ghost Girl. My favorite character in the show. It is awesome. It is great. She's the strongest character. She's the strongest human by far, just because she's lived a long time and powered up slowly. And then people are like, oh, well then fight me. She's like, no, I don't want to. It's great. Great premise. Very excited about it. I don't want to watch this slice of life horror. I don't know. I maybe this will get picked up. I feel like it probably won't. Gloomy the Naughty Grizzly does just not say, hey Pat, you should watch this. The trailer for this I saw debuted at the Anime Awards and looked rad as hell. Jorin, the Princess of Snow and Blood. Just seems fucking cool. I don't know if I'm going to watch it, but I am going to. I'm going to watch the first episode. I don't know if I'm going to keep watching it. But it does look fucking rad. Yeah. And Koi Kumio is a romantic comedy that I don't know anything about here. It's a businessman and his high school sister's best friend. This is another older guy, younger lady show. Why are we getting two of these in the same season? Yeah, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Yeah, why are we doing this? Oh, we're getting the second season of Iruma-kun. I am very excited about a new season of Iruma-kun. This was a very lovely show. I think it's going to get a little darker in this season, but not bad darker, maybe. I don't know. It is, I guess you could call it an isekai. Basically, a demon adopts a young boy as his grandson, and he goes to school, and demon school, and no one's supposed to find out that he is a human. And there's a girl that's interested in him, and he's got some best friends, and also Clara is somewhere in this photo, but you can't really see her because of the words. And she is just the best. Clara is just the coolest, fun, most silly, great character. He makes a lot of friends, and he's figuring stuff out, and it's great. The first season was double length, and it didn't need to be that many episodes because they ended up tacking on a small little chapter that I don't think was necessary at the end, but it's good. Uh, and Mars Red. I don't think I'm going to watch this because I think I know what the plot is. So, um, basically, there are vampires. And the Japanese government is like, we got to track down these vampires. And we're going to make some vampires police to kill the other vampires or army men. And I have the sneaking suspicion that that we're going to see a lot of poorly done allegories to race is my guess. My guess is this is going to be a fucking nightmare. Um, because like the trailer is just like some of them are like, oh, we're doing this to integrate vampires because they're bad vampires, and they're like they hate all vampires. The only reason we're not dead is because we killed the other ones. Like, I just get the sense that this is gonna be a messy show. Maybe it won't be, but I get the sense it will be. Uh, Mazuka Party is some sort of adventure series that also seems to maybe have cards. I don't know anything about it. Megalobox 2 Nomad. I am surprised. Here's the thing about Megalobox. There being a sequel to Megalobox. I'm bummed that Joe is going to fight more. 7 years later, that he's fighting, now known only as Nomad. I'm just bummed that Joe is fighting 7 years later. It just makes me sad. I eventually came to enjoy Megalobox. I didn't like it at first, but I came to love it. But yeah, I'm just mostly bummed for Joe that he's still doing underground fighting 7 years later. Huh. I don't know anything about that. Hey, it's another season of a show I didn't watch. Moriarty the Patriot, Part 2. It is the second half of the first season, of Moriarty the Patriot. I have a thing. Love the gritty toughness feel of Megalobox. Totally. I have a thing about. I don't want to watch Romance of the Three Kingdom anime. I generally don't want to watch. If it's gonna be Journey to the West, the story of Goku, I want it to be like a weird version of it, not just like a retelling of Journey to the West. And I also don't want to watch anime about Sherlock Holmes or the world of Sherlock Holmes. So I didn't watch Moriarty, the Patriot, because what if Moriarty was the main character is just not appealing to me. It's just not. This is not going to be a thing that we'll get here because we didn't get the first season. Yes, okay, so at the time of this going up on my YouTube channel, the first episode of Season 5 of My Hero Academia will have already happened. So that is coming. Very excited about that. Thank you for the follow, Art Slane. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, we are getting we're getting a rivalry between Class 1A and Class 1B, which means some of the characters I really enjoyed from 1B are going to be in. We're going to see some new powers come into play, some new abilities, some new villain stuff. Mushroom Girl will make an appearance, I want to know more about Mushroom Girl. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. Those characters coming back in and seeing them fight each other. I'm excited for it because I didn't love the second half of season 4 of My Hero, but I grew to really appreciate it as it went on. And like the very end of it, I thought was fun. The last episode is beautiful. And then Odd Taxi. I think this is going to be a sleeper for people. This one just feels weird in a way that I'm hyped for a purple hair guy. Purple hair guy. Oh, yeah. The brainwashing dude. Yeah, I hear ya. I mean, he's got a new tool there. Should be interesting. Odd Taxi is the show that I think is going to be a sleeper hit this season. The trailer just looks weird. It's a gritty. It's about a taxi driver that ends up solving a mystery or mysteries around the taxi driver. Um, yeah, uh, and it's weird. Uh, it seems like things are gonna go places. Um, because it's like, yeah, it's like a weird taxi driver and his clients and repeat clients, and then there's a mystery. And I'm into it. I'm into the premise, so I'm gonna check that out. Osamake rom-com where the childhood friend won't lose. This I watched the trailer of this. This did not seem appealing at all. I like the premise, or the name, but I don't. Yeah, it's a guy who's like, I like this girl, but I know this other one likes me. Oh wait, she does like me, and I guess this is gonna be a thing. I guess I should pretend to date my childhood best friend to make the other characters jealous. But oh wait, is my childhood best friend that came up with this plan actually in love with me? Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, I'm just not. It just sounds very generic. Pretty Boy Detective Club. What a fucking great name. It's based on a novel. Uh, a mystery organization that's rumored to solve problems. Uh, this seems like a weird copy paste problem here, but uh, to search for a star she glimpsed 10 years ago, second year student calls on these five pretty boys to help her solve the case. Which pretty boy is your favorite? So, like, look, am I going to love this show? I don't think I'm going to love this show. Am I going to watch an episode of a show called Pretty Boy Detective? I'm probably going to watch one episode of this. I'll report back. Seven Knights Revolution. Uh, this looks generic as hell. If someone says it's great, I guess I'll watch it. Shadow's House. The story is set in a Western-style mansion on a cliff and centers the uh, aristocratic, faceless Shadow family. They live together with lifelike doll attendants served as their faces. The story focuses on the daily lives of the house inhabitants and gradually reveals its mysteries. So this is a fucking sci-fi slice of life about a weird family in a weird house. Um, yeah, like their faces are in shadow, so they use dolls to like communicate. But it's a slice of life. It just seems so fucking weird that I'm definitely gonna watch it. Like I'll definitely watch at least the first episode of it. I believe it's going to Crunchyroll. I'll definitely like look. It sounds there might be something to it. A basketball. No, sorry, soccer. This is oh no, former soccer player who dislikes sports. Okay, but he gets invited to join the con. Oh, sorry, it's a contact. This is like a rugby style thing. It looks like they're wearing basketball uniforms, but this looks like uh, some sort of contact sport that may or may not be real, and I don't think I'll watch it. Shaman King. I'm gonna watch this. Do we think that dude still rides a snowboard? Because there's nothing that says more of like this thing was the mid to late 90s manga than there was a character who rode a snowboard around on the ice he made. Do we think he still has a snowboard? I feel like that's not 2021. But I really like the show. My big hope is that the that Manta's voice actor isn't annoying because that kid is a weird little kid, and his voice actor in the Japanese was really annoying. Um, and I also hope that they. This is a weird thing to say. I hope they fucking tighten up the story because it takes a long time before Yo and um, the spirit, the sword spirit, become friends. I still can't believe this is getting a remake. Yeah, it's really weird, Nathan. It's back. Shaman King is back. I really like Shaman King. Four Kids did a very Four Kids job of the dub, and it's a bad dub. It's not a One Piece bad dub, but it is a bad dub, and it really did it a disservice. It did the show dirty. So I'm glad it's back. But it takes a long ass time in the original anime before like it gets really good. So I'm hoping that they tighten it up. But yeah, I am surprised there's more. But I'll watch it. I don't. It's a robot show. It's a new. This is really interesting. It's a new series based on a toy line. Cool. I mean, I'll check out an episode of it. Oh no, it's a sequel to a show. Maybe I'll watch an episode. I don't know. Um, I mean, gonna look. I'm gonna watch SSSS Dynazimon Zenon. SSSS Gridman grew on me. It took me a little while to get into it, but I really loved it. Also, I can say this in a public forum, and this is a thing that I didn't realize. I didn't realize this when I was watching Gridman. So I knew that Gridman, the live action, not Ultraman, but kind of Ultraman show, that the live action footage from that was recycled into a American live action show called Superhero Samurai Cyber Squad. Superhuman Samurai Cyber with an S Squad. So, yes, this is Gridman's sequel. So, kind of, I guess. I don't know. But SSSS Gridman, it's the remake of, a cartoon, an animated remake of the live action, and the 4 S's stand for Superhero Samurai Cyber Squad as a nod to the live action English language reuse, which I didn't realize when I was first watching it. So this is, I think, is gonna be. Looks like this is gonna be a different art style, but it's still because it's Trigger and Graphinica, so it's gonna be a different art style. But it is the continuation of the larger SSSS world. But I believe it's not a direct sequel to Gridman. I don't know. I have not watched the trailer, but I'm gonna check it out. It's a mecha show, and I'm gonna watch a mecha show. Has there ever been confirmed that that's what the SSS grid stands for? Yes. Not in the anime, but in promotional materials, it has been confirmed that that's what the 4 S's stand for. It is a nod to Samurai Squad, which used Gridman stuff. Because also in Gridman, the animated Gridman, there is a few other subtle-ish references to the machines that are obviously from the source material, but also the versions of them that are used. There's no Tim Curry reference, but they throw in a few references apparently. Hey, I'm gonna watch Super Cub. If you thought that, yes, exactly. If you thought that I wasn't gonna watch a anime about girls who are into or getting into riding motorcycles and going on adventures, you were wrong. Of course I'm gonna fucking watch Super Cub. Of course I'm gonna watch an anime about girls into motorcycles. That's 100% what I'm gonna watch. It's the Girls Into a Thing show of the season. Can't wait. Here's an so I'm kind of psyched about the coziness of the I've been killing slimes for 300 years isekai, and we're still getting Spider, that isekai, and then here is an isekai that is definitely a throwback, fantasy romance slice of life isekai. So basically, Sei is summoned from her world, and then she's supposed to be the saint, but 2 women get summoned, and they go, not you, this other girl, that's the saint. So she's just like, okay, I guess I'll just use my magic to make things. And then people are like, well, you're actually incredibly good at making healing magic. Will you continue, or healing spells? Will you continue to do that? And there's like a handsome guy that's like, hey, come work with me. And she is maybe going to fall in love with that guy. But then as she starts like helping more and more people, then they're like, are you actually the real saint? So I don't know. It's like a throwback, traditional, like old school isekai. It's got like, it kind of reminds me more of Shugi Yugi than it does, um, like a modern isekai. So I'm on board. It sounds cool. I like the idea. Uh, I don't know. And then, as I was talking about earlier, the Slime Diaries. This will be on Crunchyroll. Um, you can see everyone is really. They're not like tiny chibis, but they're all like they all look younger and they all look cuter. They like cuted everybody up. Uh, and it's just the daily life of living in the hijinks of there. So if you really like the first season of That Time I Got Reincarnated as Slime and you were disappointed where it went the second season, then this is for you. Um, the World Ends with You. They're making an anime based on. How old is that video game? And they're making an anime based on it. That's kind of cool. I like the art style. I don't know if I'm going to watch it because I never finished The World Ends with You, but like I don't know. It depends on how cool they make Shibuya look. I might check it out. Uh, those Snow White Notes is it's a musical drama uh, that didn't seem good. I watched the trailer and it didn't seem interesting, so I don't think I'm going to watch this. Um, Thunderbolt Fantasy. Thunderbolt Fantasy is so fucking weird. I don't like it, but I love that it exists. I didn't enjoy watching it. It's marionettes, it's puppets. It's puppets. I don't know what to tell you. It's a show. It's a epic samurai series with puppets, like magic using samurai puppets. I think it's great, and I love there's another season. Uh, oh, I have to remind myself to tell my friend who doesn't keep up on anime but loves Thunderbolt that there is more Thunderbolt. Um, To Your Eternity. I don't know anything about this. It's a boy and his wolf, and uh, it seems like it's gonna fucking be sad, and I don't know. Uh, this is a great name for an anime, Tokyo Revengers. This is the time travel isekai. It's not really an isekai. This is the time travel series. I love a good time travel. Um, uh, but basically, he, yeah, it's basically like he dies, and then but instead of going to a different world, he goes back to the past when he is 12 years ago, and he's like, I'm gonna save my girlfriend who died by using the knowledge I have in this body. And then the trailer makes it seem like that doesn't go particularly well, or it doesn't immediately work. Like, you can't make yourself, like, knowledge of the future doesn't make you tougher in your body. Uh, so I don't think it seems like it's not doesn't go great, but it's working. I don't know. The premise is interesting. I love a good time travel story. I'm gonna check it out. I have not heard of this show at all. This original thing by Wit. Oh, it's a sci-fi music thing. Humans and AI war upcoming. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna check this out. Same mangaka as a silent voice. Oh, okay. Uh, been waiting for 3 years now for To You, the Immortal, to Your Eternity to get an anime. Well, I'm so glad you're excited about it. The premise sounds great. Also, uh, 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 yeah, this seems just To Your Eternity seems real sad. Um, it's going to have 20 episodes, which is an interesting number because lately we've seen more 11 episode series, but usually 11 to 13 is what you get, or you get 24. 20 episodes is interesting. But yeah, it just seems like it's going to be real sad and bleak. So I don't know. Um, and here is our other Girls Into a Thing anime. We're getting two this season. We're getting two Girls Who Are Into a Thing anime. And this is pottery. Um, high school girl moves to a shopping street. Friends, townfolk, ceramics. What will she discover in a town famous for ceramic? I'm gonna guess that she likes to make ceramics. Is my guess. Uh, but I can't wait for Mug Como, and I don't know who's picking it up. I'm hoping that someone does. That usually the girls into a thing slice of life genre, someone picks it up. Ooh, we're past 11 o'clock. That is late. There's a lot of stuff. They're making a Yokai Watch again. That's good. More Zombieland Saga. I love that it's called Zombieland Saga Revenge. This is the only idol show I've ever enjoyed. Um, uh, and this is the sequel where like more stuff is happening. So for their idol group. So I'm in it to win it. I really like Zombieland Saga. A bunch of girls who are brought back to life as living dead, and then become idols. And it's weird and strange, and also a lovely depiction of Saga, the region of Japan Saga. Uh, I hope someone picks this up because this is a 47-year-old manager of a company who one day turns into a baby. And then he has to continue to be the head of his company, even though he is a baby. Uh, there's some good stuff. Yes, there's some real good stuff this season. Look, do I know if anyone's going to pick this up? I don't know. The art style doesn't seem super appealing, but the premise is great. Still got is he's just a baby now. Dinosaur Biori. I don't know if we're gonna get this. This looks like kids anime. Um, I don't know what this is. Again, none of these have been picked up yet, so I don't know if we're gonna get any of these. Um, so I'm not really like counting on it. Uh, if any of these shows are gonna get something we got. And then Back Arrow for some reason is a double length series, which no thank you. Uh, nobody picked up this dog show. A dog trying to find his father. Nobody picked that up, so can't watch that. Nobody picked this up either. And then Soma Spider So What continues, and I'm looking forward to it. Things are getting weird. And then Seven Deadly Sins is continuing. And then there's some movies, but like whatever. And that is it. I'm going to do my outro for the YouTube video, and then I will talk to all of you and continue on there. Got a lot of great stuff here. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button in the comment section. What was your favorite show of winter 2020? What show are you looking forward to in 2020 or 2021, I should say, winter? What are you looking forward to in the spring? Let me know in the comments of this YouTube video and like it and tell your friends and all that other stuff. Thanks for watching Pat Bear's Anime Club, the wrap up and preview.